Dzień dobry, witam Państwa bardzo serdecznie na kolejnym odcinku serii Królewskie Historie. Dzisiaj moim gościem jest pan Martin Sprungala, który przyjechał z Niemiec. Rozmowę przeprowadzimy po angielsku, ponieważ tym językiem obaj władamy. It's good to hear Martin.
Yes.
So, is it your first visit to Wschowa?
No, I'm here very often since 1993. That was my first time.
So, when and why this all started?
I started with the question, where did my family come from? It was about 1981. I was here first time in Poland, and then I hear from my family, our roots are here. But I was too young to find the right documents to be in history. And then I study history. I come again to Poland with the university.
When you say your roots were here, you mean Wschowa city or
Not, it was near the town. It was in Mochi. My family came from Mochi. Now I know the roots were in Kastor, in Stary Klasztor. It was the old name. There were the roots, and the most important town for all the people were Wschowa, Fraustadt, and not Wolstein, Wolstün. Here was the most important point. They live, they buy, they go to the market, and so on.
So why did you decide to come to Poland in the early 90s?
I try to know something more about my family. I start with my own family, only a few persons, 10 persons perhaps. Now I know over 800 persons from my family for my research.
That's a lot.
And every time I hear the magic word, we come from Mauche, Kreis Bomst, Babymost, near Wschowa. That was the reason I wanted to come here. I get contact with the Sotis in Mochi, and then
Everything started.
yes, I was first time in Wschowa. I said, wonderful, nice town, very old, very nice, and perhaps I feel a memory. I don't know. Genetic
So
remembrance.
during your first visit in Moche, you also came to visit Wschowa, yeah?
Yes, yes. Short time. It was in 1993, in May. We have been in May here, make a big trip over all Poland. I want to know everything from Poland. I was very interested.
This is the time when you started to think about writing books about Wschowa and our region?
Yes, I talked with the Sotis, Józef Kozelniak. I said to him, perhaps I will write my doctor's work far away in future, when I finish my studies. And he said, oh, very interesting. He knows a lot of history. He wants to have it in a book. And then when I stopped my studies, I was finished. My parents said, you want to write your doctor's work. Do it now. We are healthy enough, good enough to give you money to help you. And so I asked at the university, and they said, okay, you can do it. I come to Poland. Józef Kozelniak translated everything because I cannot speak and read Polish.
Maybe say some words, some sentences about Józef Kozelniak, because he was
Yes.
German origin, yeah?
He has German roots.
German roots.
He has German roots, family Semmler. Semmler is very old in Mochi. Mochi is a village with a lot of people from Germany with German roots. German, Polish roots, it's sometimes Polish, sometimes.
His family stayed in Poland after the war, and they did.
His family lives there since hundreds of years. And I found my family also. Pszongawa was the correct name in former times. And the first date I find, the data I find, was in 1604 in the church books.
So, 400 years ago.
Yes. And they are, I think, here since the Klasztor, the monastery Maria See in Wielen, later in Przemęt, was founded in 1278.
Yeah, we spoke about Józef Gorzelniak, and we know that he was German, yeah,
Yes.
who stayed in Poland after the war. So this is the time when your work about your book began, yeah?
Yes.
Hmm?
And I start my doctor's work. I come here.
So your book was as well your doctor's work.
It's the first. It was my first book. I was very quickly. I started in 1997, and one year later I was finished. I finished, and in 1999 I make my disputation, the test, and then I was ready, and I said, now I have everything. No, it wasn't, because a lot of people have heard there is someone looking for the history of our area, and called to me.
You mean people in Poland or in Germany?
In Germany, of course, because they in Poland cannot speak. But there was also some persons here in Poland.
So you contacted with former citizens of Słowa, yeah?
Yes. And then I get also an email from Przemysław Zielnica, and we start our friendship and working together.
And it lasts till this day?
It lasts until now, yes. It was very interesting, and then I found that the leader of the Freundeskreis, Fraustädter Ländchen, of the company who is interested from former persons from Słowa, Fraustadt, and the whole Powiat. And it was Mr. Raubal. Mr. Raubal was living here at the church nearby, and he was in Dortmund. I said, who did it? Who did it? That I get the contact. I called to him. He was very nice. His son is also famous in Dortmund. His son is president of Borussia Dortmund.
How many people did you contact with?
Maybe in whole of my work, maybe 200, 300 persons.
Oh, that's a lot.
That's a lot of people. And I get the information.
So what they were saying about pre-war Słowa?
They are very quiet. I want to know all about it, not only the normal living. I want to know what was going on with Third Reich, Nazis.
So political issues.
Yes, and it was they said, no.
We know that Hitler's movement was very strong here in Słowa. So
they are shamed until now.
After all these years.
After the war, they are ashamed to talk about it. What happened here? It's very hard to find documents, and I want to write more and more.
But I believe they left some, pleasant memories about their lives in Słowa.
Yes.
So how they look like?
It's very, very good what they tell me. They are mostly simple persons. You know, the older people are dead, and they are now the children from 1945. And they tell me what they know, what they have heard from her mother, from her father, aunt, and so on. And they tell me everything they know.
So these memories are very strong till this day. But I think that a lot has changed, and now Słowa is a completely different city. It's a Polish city, and I would like to know, what do you think about Słowa nowadays?
I think it's very interesting, because after the war it came a new population here, live here, and they have
from Far East.
From Far East, and they have the same feeling and history like the people who lived here. I have heard it from
who were forced to leave Słowa and go to.
They had to leave their homeland in today Ukrainian, Belarus, and so on, and they feel like the Germans.
Yeah, they feel. I believe they feel a lot of regret about what happened almost century, 80 years ago, and this might be very similar. And I think that this topic is might be in the future the point which connect us.
To work together.
Yeah, exactly. To connect.
I heard it from Przemek. He said I had to go to my grandmother. She get visit from the former owner of her house in Klanica, and she said, Przemek, come and translate. He came and he said, it's not necessary to translate because both old ladies have the same feeling, the same history. They fell in their arms, crying, feeling good.
So they didn't have to speak.
Yes.
They felt everything.
It's
and
not
it was enough.
necessary to speak. They have the same feeling. And that's the very interesting thing I find here in Poland.
Martin, you've been in Wschowa for a week. What were you doing at this time?
Yes, tomorrow we have a memory to Jochen Klepper. He is from Bytom, Odrzański. We make it in Głogów.
So Wschowa is not the only city you visit
no, I have,
in Poland.
It's a big area. I start with Mory, small Mory, the house of my family, the whole village, Powiat, and so on and so on. And I'm interested in everything because it's a very interesting history here. At first I said, oh, it's so difficult. Here I have Polish history, Wielkopolska. Nobody knows what is Wielkopolska in Germany. But now I'm the man who is asked about Wielkopolska. When I start, I never had heard it. Now I'm the man who is asked. Then I found nearby Brandenburg, Prussian history, Schlesien, Śląsk, you have Czech history, Böhmische history, and I have to do everything. I said I can dance on every party.
Yeah, it's good to hear. So,
Yes.
what are your future plans for Wschowa? Or maybe I know that you wrote a book and it's ready to print.
Yes, I have wrote a book together with Mr. Raubal. We want to have it. I start writing and he said, oh no, I'm too old. I had to end the work of our company, of our Verein. But with Przemek we said, we do it. We translate it. He said he will give money. And we did it, but he hasn't had the book in his hands because he died some weeks before we are finished. But he was so happy to hear about everything. He has help from a lady from here. She was working for him when he was old. He was also 95 years old when he died.
Oh.
It was contact also from the beginning to the end of his life.
So, to be specific, your latest book is finished.
Yes, my book is finished, but I have still some manuscripts. I have also a manuscript about persons, biographic book about everything I found from persons here in Wschowa.
So, how long is it going to take to finish?
I finished it 10 years ago because I said there's nobody interested in it.
Ah.
But I have over 800 persons in it. Everything I find, I take in it.
Every part of history is important. But what do you find most exciting about Wschowa's history?
It's so much. It was one of the biggest and famous towns in Wielkopolska in his time.
Yeah.
It was German and it was Polish, both. Here was the king, Wetina, August Mocny.
For sure, Wschowa was a very important
August
Polish
Mocny.
city before the partition of Poland.
Yes, it was very famous and very interesting. Everything. I saw a picture with Turk people from Osmanian Empire. I think also from Persia.
They came here to see
Yes.
a Polish king. Yeah.
They came here to see Wschowa.
But Martin, what part of Wschowa is very important to you exactly?
Very important is the old town, the old buildings. I'm Catholic, but I love Kripplein Christi, and the whole town is nice. It's nice. Lapidarium,
Yeah,
it's
it has
a part
some
of old history.
very unique climate.
Yes.
Here, walking through the streets, you can
Yes.
you can feel it. Yeah, how important the city was in the past. Now, maybe the last questions. Are you willing to work more for our partnership, and how long you going to stay in Czchowa?
I stay until now Monday, but I come back.
You are always
I
invited.
ever come back because it's so interesting here, and we have had good contacts now, and I get more and more work. I have also contact to University of Poznan and so on.
So a lot has changed
Yes,
since the
with
beginning of your.
Professor Kowalski and a lot of people, and I want to have more and more contact to get more information to go deeper and deeper into the history.
So I think it will be enough for today. Maybe we'll leave
you.
rest for the next meeting. It was nice to have you here, and I really hope we will meet again, Martin.
Yes,
Thank you.
Thank you very much.